Alright, what's up guys, it's Caiatl, and in this video I'm going to be going over some Destiny 2 Season 13 theories. And make sure you do watch the full video so that you can hear all of the Season 13 theories, because they are some very interesting ones and they keep getting better and better as the video goes on. Plus there will be timestamps in the description if you want to skip to the one you think is the most interesting sounding. But first, if you do want to help support the channel, then make sure to go down and drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. It would be greatly appreciated and it would help me out a lot. Now, the first theory that we're going to be talking about is the one that I personally think is the least likely, but nevertheless a pretty interesting theory. Now, this first theory was made by a Destiny 2 YouTuber named Redrix, and his theory is that in Destiny 2 Season 13 we will be getting back Venus from Destiny 1. And now his reason for this is that the Season 13 background artwork kind of gives him a Venus vibe. Some of the artifacts and items that you can see in it remind him of the structures and statues that you could see back on Venus, so that is why he thinks that Venus might be returning next season. Personally, I think that there is a very low chance of this happening, but I mean, we're just gonna have to see. I think that there are a lot more things that are more likely to happen though, that we're gonna be talking about in this video. Now, the second possible theory we're going to be talking about has to do with the Season 13 icon or logo. Because the other day I was looking at this logo and I was wondering, what could this possibly be? Because currently there is nothing in-game that looks anything like that symbol. But then I started thinking about the Vault of Glass, and then I remembered the Templar. Now, as you can see by the screenshot on screen right now, the Season 13 icon is darn near identical to the Templar. So as you can see on the Season 13 icon, it has like the two arcs going up at the top with the floating orb in the middle, and I was always wondering what those were, but as you can see, the Templar has the exact same thing, and then the Templar also has the arms down at the bottom going out with the two orbs floating underneath each one. And same exact thing with the Season 13 icon, so it's pretty safe to assume that that Season 13 icon is supposed to be the Templar. Now, this might mean that whatever seasonal activity we get next season, the final boss for that activity might actually be the Templar, and we might have a different boss that is going to be in the Vault of Glass whenever it does return. This is very interesting, and I am curious to see how this ends up playing out. Now, the final and most likely Season 13 theory was made by the legend himself, Paul Tassi. Now, he did write an entire article going over what he thinks will be happening in Season 13, so if you want to just read that yourself, I will leave a link to that in the description, but I will be talking about the most important details from that article in this video right here. Now, it was called Destiny 2 may be heading back to the Leviathan, heralding Caiatl's, I'm sure I'm probably saying that terribly wrong, but I'm going to just call it Caiatl's arrival. Now, the first major thing that he brings up is that it has been no real secret that the next season of Destiny 2 will most likely be about the Cabal and their struggle against Xivu Arath, as the Hive God has used her Wrathborn magic to corrupt many of their species. And it might have something to do with them being so desperate that they're even turning to us for help, as it kind of looks like it would be that from that screenshot of a cutscene that we have not seen in-game yet. He also says that everything about the seasonal challenges image screams the potential return of the Leviathan, and other clues indicate that it might not be Callus returning with the Leviathan, but his daughter, Caiatl. He then says that first of all, the icon of the season is the most Leviathan-like imagery he's ever seen, and all you have to do to notice that is compare it to any Leviathan weapons, armor, or environmental images, and you will definitely notice. And past that, the background is not your usual Cabal stacks, crates, and weapons, but the gold finery and vases and ornate designs of Leviathan. But zooming in further, we see at least one gun, one gladiator-like melee weapon, and one helmet. Now, this is interesting because there's actually a good chance that that gladiator-like melee weapon will actually be a brand new third-person type weapon, because as you can see in this tweet by Cosmo, he says that we are still investigating what changes are viable, since it's a complicated issue that affects both emotes, swords, and any potential future third-person weapons. So, those future third-person weapons could actually be this gladiator-like weapon that Paul Tassi points out in the screenshot. He also says, then there's the fact that Osiris sent Zavala a whole bunch of messages at the beginning of the season about Caiatl, which seems like too much of a coincidence when you weighed it against all of the other stuff. So where does this leave us? I suppose there's an option that Caiatl could arrive on a new ship with similar Leviathan-like riches and imagery, but I mean, do you want to put money on that, or on Bungie reusing some parts of Brawling Leviathan for a new or old activity? Lore-wise, we never really figured out what happened to the Leviathan, and it wasn't shrouded by darkness like the Vaulted Planets. I came up with a theory that Xivu Arath may have taken it over and that we would be fighting Wrathborn Cabal on it once it returned. Now here's a tweet from Paul Tassi saying, "The dream. Next season, Leviathan Rune returns to the solar system, disabled, damaged, inside Caiatl is missing, and everything in there has been affected by Xivu Arath, and we get corrupted Wrathborn Menagerie with new stages, bosses, and loot." Now, if you think about it, it would actually make a lot of sense for Bungie to bring back a menagerie type activity with Season 13 because, well, that's all the community has been asking for a long time now, ever since it came out. I mean, in the start of Season of the Hunt, one of the Bungie devs, I believe it was Cosmo, made a tweet saying, what are your guys' opinions on Wrathborn hunts? And everyone in the comments was just saying, we want a menagerie type activity, not the Wrathborn hunts. So, if Bungie actually is listening to the community like they say they are, then we can definitely expect something like this to be happening next season. Or at the very least, a 6-player match-made activity, because that is what the community truly wants, and that is when Destiny 2 is at its best. But that pretty much wraps up this video. The Season 13 trailer will be releasing this Tuesday in like 2 days, and I'm very excited to see that and see if any of these theories actually come true. But anyways, I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please make sure to help me out by dropping a like and subscribing to the channel, because it really does help out a lot. But thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.